वेलकम बैक टू द शो। और हमने आपको जो है वो पहले बताया था कि हमारे साथ जो है वो मिनिस्टर ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन होंगी, ऑनरेबल कैरोलाइन मैबरोनी होंगी। तो उनको जो है हम उनको इनवाइट किया है और वो आज हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं। बाय प्रोफेशन वो एक लॉयर भी हैं, फाइनेंशियल एनालिस्ट भी हैं और कम्युनिटी वर्कर भी हैं। तो विदाउट एनी फर्दर ड्यू लेट्स वेलकम ऑनरेबल मिस कैरोलाइन मैबरोनी। वेलकम मैम, वेलकम टू द शो।
Thank you, Minahil. It's a real pleasure to be with you.
You're welcome, ma'am. So without any further ado, let's start your interview. So our first question will be regarding Peel region public transportation system, since our listeners mostly belong to Peel region. So Peel region public transport system lacks many facilities, unfortunately, such as the subway, and the available public transport system in the Peel region is not very adequate. Commuting through public transport in the Peel region require more time than traveling the same distance in Toronto. So what is your plan in investing in public transport system in Peel region?
Well, that's a great question, and I can tell you that I think our government actions will support the fact that we agree with you. There has been a lack of public transit in Peel region, which is why we've moved ahead with the Here Ontario LRT. We announced recently the proponent who will be delivering the LRT. And it's an 18-kilometer long light rail transit system that's going to connect communities across Mississauga and Brampton, and will help so many people find an easier, better, more convenient way to travel. And so it will be 18 kilometers long with 19 stops. And I think that this new transit infrastructure will go a long way to addressing some of the concerns that you're raising. But we're also doing other things other than just building new transit. We're partnering with the federal government under a program that they have called the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program, so that we can provide some other kinds of infrastructure. So recently in Brampton, we announced new projects that included the refurbishment of new buses and replacement of buses, and the construction of a new transit hub. So there's a lot that's going to be happening. We know that Peel region is one of the fastest growing areas in Ontario, which means population and density and congestion are increasing. So we need to do what we can to help people get around.
Well, good to know that, ma'am. So due to pandemic, the commute time between Mississauga and Toronto on 401 in peak hour is substantially reduced. But as Ontario is looking forward to opening the businesses, the traffic on 401 will start growing. So does the Ministry of Transportation have any plan to reduce the congestion on 401 when the traffic is back in full swing?
Well, you are absolutely right. As we're reopening the economy, congestion will continue to increase.
Yeah.
And so, but congestion was a problem, as you said, before the pandemic. You know, every year we lose billions of dollars due to gridlock on our highways, and it also affects our quality of life. I mean, being stuck in traffic can just make anybody crazy, and it's time away from your family or from work. And so, we are committed to investing in reducing congestion. So, we put forward a very ambitious subway plan with one new line, the Ontario line, and the extension of 3 existing lines. It's an almost $30 billion plan with these 4 priority subway projects that we know will help reduce congestion on the 401. We also are moving forward with two-way all-day GO service every 15 minutes on key segments of the GO Rail transit network. So we know that will improve access and convenience for people in Ontario, but especially in Peel region. And we've also announced plans for a new highway, the GTA West Corridor. We reinitiated the environmental assessment process that we know will help alleviate congestion, especially as it moves through Peel region.
I see. So many immigrants, especially from the South Asian community, they have driving license from their back home country. Even if they don't have a driving license, they do have experience in driving. So what are the options available for them to convert their driving license to a local license?
Well, everybody needs to prove their identity. So you need to come in with documentation with your name and date of birth and a signature. To get your Class G driver's license, you're going to have to do a knowledge and a road test. So especially if you're coming and you don't have a driver's license and you do have experience, everyone will have to still go through the testing that we have set up. It's essential for us to make sure that our roads remain some of the safest in North America. So we do have the knowledge and road testing that's required, but what's not required is authorization to work in Ontario or legal presence in Canada. So you don't need to have that to obtain a driver's license, but you will need proof of your name and your date of birth, and then you need to sign up for the test.
All right. So let's talk a little about your journey towards politics. So what fascinated you about politics? How hard it is to step up in politics, especially for women? Do you think like that? It's difficult for a woman to step in politics?
Yeah. Well, I think for women to make the step, it's a big commitment to put your name forward and put your name on a ballot. And for me, it wasn't as big a step as it may be for others because I grew up in a political family, and my father had already made the decision to do that, and we lived a very political life. And so I know a lot of people who made it, so it didn't seem like a strange or crazy thing for me to do. But it is a big step. But I would say that you can get involved in politics without putting your name on the ballot. If you're interested in a party, you can volunteer for the party and be involved in campaigns. If you're interested in fighting for an issue, you can be an advocate for that issue. So there's a lot of ways that you can get involved in politics without putting your name on the ballot. That said, we need more women to put their names on the ballot because we need more women in government who are informing the debates that we have around policy and bringing their ideas and their experiences forward. So I can tell you that while it is challenging, it's an incredibly exciting and rewarding career path. And I hope if you have a lot of young women or women who have been involved and or have been thinking about it, I hope that they feel encouraged to do so because it really, truly an important thing for women to be involved in.
So you almost answered my next question, which was that any message which you want to give to those young girls who want to start their career in politics. So because you're a role model for so many young girls. So any particular message regarding their career in politics you want to give?
Yes, my message is do it. Please do it. People think that getting involved in politics is very difficult, that you have to have connections or that you have to have a degree in political science. And you don't need to at all. I can tell you that, for me to get to where I am today, I had to run. And to run in a campaign, you need volunteers. And so candidates really are grateful and appreciative of the people who show up to help them door knock, make phone calls, do mailers, attend events with them. And there are great opportunities that can come to you if you get to know a candidate and you volunteer on their campaign. There was a young woman in my constituency from Bradford. She came on my campaign, very involved. I got to know her very well, and I hired her when I was Attorney General as a policy advisor.
I see.
And so just do it. Put your name. Call your local representative or find a candidate you like in a municipal, provincial, or federal election and get involved and try it out.
That's great. So coming back towards our main topic, so is there any homework Ministry of Transportation is doing for the introduction of flying taxis in GTA?
Well, that's a fun file.
Yeah.
We're very Ontario is a leader in moving forward with new transportation technologies and CV, AV, connected vehicles and automated vehicle technology. We're very advanced, especially a lot of the work is done in the Ottawa area. So we are moving forward with a number of pilot projects to test out new technologies. And that's the best way for us to identify those opportunities is to test them and pilot them in a sort of controlled environment. I have heard a lot about the flying taxis, and I know there's a lot of excitement about these kinds of new and emerging technologies. So I'm sure that we will be looking at them in the future. We aren't right now, but I'm sure that they'll be coming. It will be coming forward through MTO for a pilot at some point in the future.
All right. So why there is no water taxi service between Mississauga and Toronto?
There have been attempts in the past for commuter ferry services on Lake Ontario. Like there was one between one to Rochester, New York. But I understand that the attempts to establish these kinds of services have run into challenges in the past. Like they're slow, they're impeded by bad weather and ice on the harbors in the winter. So it can be really difficult to run a service that's meant to be time sensitive with those kinds of challenges. So, we're open to hearing about new ideas that would work and provide a benefit to the region. With respect to water taxis, it is the municipalities that have the authority to establish the licensing scheme for those kinds of vehicles, but vehicles for hire. So we would work with them if the municipality wanted to move forward with it. But my understanding is so far this has been a challenged area.
All right. So when we can see you as a Prime Minister of Canada? When we can expect that?
Oh, well, that's very, very nice of you. I'll say I love my job. Being Minister of Transportation and working with Doug Ford and our cabinet is a great responsibility, and I'm honored to be in the role and to serve in the role that I am in. And I look forward to continuing in this role as long as I can. That's my priority.
Okay, that's great. So what message do you want to give to our listeners?
Well, here we are almost 12 months, almost a year after the onset of the pandemic. Yes. And so many of us, all of us, have been called upon to make sacrifices, and things have been very difficult. And so I just would like to say thank you to your listeners for the sacrifices that they have made on behalf of their community to keep others safe. And so I know it hasn't been easy, but we are all doing our part to help save lives. And so I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am. Well, it was a pleasure to have you in our show. We would like to thank you for giving us the time and speaking with us and providing our listeners great insight to the Ministry of Transportation's future plan. Thank you very much, ma'am.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me on as your guest.
You're welcome, ma'am. Take care.
Have a good day.
You too, ma'am. Bye. जी, तो ये था आज का हमारा इंटरव्यू. हमारे साथ मौजूद थी ऑनरेबल कोरलाइन मबरूनी और हमें बहुत ही अच्छा लगा उनसे बात करके. हमारी कोशिश होती है कि हम आपके बिहाफ पे जो है उनसे बात करें, डिफरेंट मिनिस्ट्रीज और अथॉरिटी से आपके बिहाफ पे आपके इश्यूज़ को हम उठाएं. और उन्होंने हमें जो है वो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन के फ्यूचर प्लान्स बताए हैं और हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि उन पे जल्द अज जल्द जो है वो अमल हो सके. तो बातों का सिलसिला तो यहाँ पे हम जारी ही रखेंगे, लेकिन अभी वक्त हुआ एक ब्रेक का. ब्रेक के बाद फिर हाजिर होंगे. तब तक कहीं मत जाएगा और सुनते रहिए हमारा शो.